This is class 9 CBSE Economics, the story of village Palampur, part 3. See here, one picture is given here. This is about the Palampur village, the distribution of cultivated land. See here, observe here, some plots of land is small in size, some plots of land are medium in size, and some plots of land in large in size. So this one is small, medium, large lands. Here in Palampur, how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? You must have realized how important land is for farming. Yes, for farming activity, so the land is important. Unfortunately, not all the people engaged in agriculture have sufficient land for cultivation. So those who are involved in the agriculture, all the peoples are not have sufficient land of cultivation. In Palampur, about 1/3 of the 450 families are landless. That means 150 families. So we already learned that in Palampur, totally 450 families are living there. Among them, 1/3, that means 150 families are landless. Most of them are Dalits, that means scheduled caste or downtrodden peoples, have no land for cultivation. Of the remaining families who own land, so remaining families means 300 families are their balance. Among that, 240 families cultivate small plots of land which is less than 2 hectares in size. We already seen that picture. Some lands are small in size, some lands are medium, some lands are large in size. So the lands according to the hectares, we are divided into 3 categories. Those who are cultivate less than, those who are hold the land of cultivation less than 2 hectares in size means they are considered as a small farmers. Those who have 2 to 4 hectares, medium farmers. Those who have more than 4 hectares, we are considered them as a large farmers. Cultivation in such plots doesn't bring adequate income to the farmer's family. So less than, those who are cultivating in less than 2 hectares in size, whatever they are cultivating, that is not adequate income to the farmer's family itself. So almost 240 families are cultivating in small plots of land. In 1960, Gobind, here one case study is there. In 1960, Gobind was a farmer with 2.25 hectares. That means more than 2 hectares means medium or largely unirrigated land. So their lands are not have the irrigation facility. That one is unirrigated land. That means they are depending upon the monsoon rain. With the help of his 3 sons, so Gobind has 3 sons. His 3 sons, Gobind cultivated the land. Though they did not live very comfortably, even though they are not live very comfortably, because that income is not enough. The family managed to feed itself with a little bit of extra income from one buffalo that the family possessed. So they have one buffalo, in that they are getting the extra income to somewhat they manage their family. Some years after Gobind's death, this land was divided among his 3 sons. Yes, after father's death, the property is divided among the children. So 3 sons divided among them. Each one now has a plot of land that is only 0.7 hectare in size. So that medium-sized farmers now turned into small farmers because less than 2 hectares they hold. Even with improved irrigation and modern farming method, Gobin's sons are not able to make a living from their land. See, more than 2 hectares land held by the Gobin. Somewhat he managed, but they did not live very comfortably, but somewhat they managed. Now the land divided among the 3 sons, so it's turned into a less than 2 hectares by each person, so they turned into small farmers. Even though they did that improved irrigation and also modern farming method, that is not adequate. So they have to look for additional work during the year. You can see the large number of small plots scattered around the village in the picture. These are cultivated by the small farmers. On the other hand, more than half of the area of the village is covered by plots that are quite large in size. So, half of the area, more than half of the area is covered with large number of large size of plots. In Palampur, there are 60 families, that means balance 240, then after that balance are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. A few of the large farmers have land extended over 10 hectares or even more. Here they given here one picture. Actually here they given here sequence what work they are doing here. This one we have to arrange in a order wise. See, work on the fields, wheat crop, plowing by bullocks. So first one is plowing by bullocks. This one is first picture. Then next one is sowing. Then spraying of insecticides. This one is third. Cultivation by traditional method. This one is cultivation by traditional method. Then cultivation by modern method. This one is modern method because they are using here modern machines, tractors. Next one is cutting of crops. This is the last one, cutting of crops. Next here they given here one graph by diagram. This one is describe about that marginal and small farmers and medium and large farmers. How much percentage they are holding that cultivated land with them, and the number of farmers they given here. See here 85 percentage of farmers they are holding that 44.6% of land. So large number of farmers they are holding less percentage of land. So in Palampur also same that scenario, that is 240 families they are holding that small plots of land in that Palampur village. Actually this one is general data which is based on the census of agricultural census of 2010 and 11, which one is given in the agricultural statistics of 2017. Next one is, so here you see that 15 percentage of farmers, those who are medium and large farmers, they are holding that 55.4 percentage of land. So almost less numbers of farmers, they are holding more than half of the land. Okay, this one is described in this picture. Next one is, who will provide the labor to cultivate the fields. After land, labor is the next necessary factor for production. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Some farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own fields. So small farmers, in small farmers' field, their own family members are laborers for their own field. Thus, they provide the labor required for farming themselves. Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their fields. So, medium and large farmers, they are not working their fields. Usually, they hire farm laborers to work on their fields. Farm laborers come either from landless families or families cultivating small plots of land. So usually 150 families are there in Palampur. So usually they depends upon the medium and large farmers as a work as a land laborers in their land. And then families cultivating small plots of land. We already learned that cultivation is not enough for their family, so they want to seek other jobs. Unlike farmers, farm laborers do not have right over on the crops grown on the land. So those who hold the lands, even though they are cultivating, so those who are owner of the land only have the rights on their crops. But those who are working in the labor job, they don't have any rights on the crops. Instead, they are paid wages. Instead of that, they are getting that wages by farmer whom they work. Wages can be in cash or in kind. That means crop. So, wages they can collect it through the cash, otherwise kind. Kind means what type of crop they are cultivating in that field. That crops they are getting as a wages. Sometimes laborers get meals also, food also. Wages vary widely from region to region, from crop to crop, from one farm activity to another farm activity like sowing and harvesting. So they are collecting the wages. It varies from region to region. So area to area it differs the wages. And from crop to crop, from wheat crop cultivation, they are getting one amount of wages, and then for sugarcane cultivation, different amount of wages. From one farm activity to another farm activity, like for sowing activity, they are getting different amount of wages, and for harvesting, they are getting different amount of wages. There is also a wide variation in the duration of employment also. A farm laborer might be employed on a daily basis or for one particular farm activity like harvesting or for the whole year. So even duration of employment also it varies. Some laborers they are getting on the daily basis or one particular farming activity like sowing or harvesting, that job alone they are getting that particular timing, or for the whole year. Dala is a landless farm laborer. Dala is a person. This is one case study to understand this topic they given here. Dala is a landless farm laborer who works on daily wages in Palampur. So daily wages means daily he wants to look for work. This means he must regularly look for work. That means regularly he wants to search for work. The minimum wages for a farm laborer set by the government is rupees 300 per day. According to that March 2017. But Dala gets only rupees 160. There is heavy competition for work among farm laborers in Palampur. See, actually, according to the government, they fixed for the daily wages. The wages is 300 rupees per day, but Dala is getting only 360 rupees because of heavy competition. So, people agree to work for lower wages. Dala complains about his situation to Ramkali. Ramkali, who is another farm laborer. Both Dala and Ramkali are among the poorest people in the village. We can see here above the conversation between the Dala and Ramkali given here. So these both are poorest native in the village. So Dala is land daily wages worker, and here Ramkali. So Dala, it is difficult to find work these days. Only the large farmers hire us, and that too for very limited number of days. He is saying to that Ramkali. Ghanshyam, the large farmer, Ghanshyam is a person, he was a large farmer in that village, has just bought a harvester. So harvester machine he bought. So we are going to get even less work during the harvest season this year, because half of the work done by the harvester. Last year I worked for less than 5 months in the whole year. So last year he didn't have the harvester, but even though she got only 5 months in the whole year, but now that Ghanshyam bought harvester, so she is thinking she won't get enough days of work. So even though she will get that less than that. We have tractors for plowing, harvesters for harvesting, threshers for threshing, so all the machines, even for removing weeds. Some farmers spray weedicide. This year I will have to look for work in the brick making unit in Raiganj, which is near to that Palampur village, one big village. So she wants to look for that brick making unit, because here that farmers are bought that machines, so they are not getting enough days of jobs. I owe the local money lender rupees 2000. I had taken rupees 1000 last summer. He already got last summer 1000 rupees. Now he wants to get the or 2000 rupees. When no work was available in the fields, how will I ever repay? I hardly earn enough for 2 square of meals. That means per day 2 square of meals only. It's very hard to earn for him, Dala. Ramkali, my situation is not much better. So her situation also is worst only. Due to past debt, the money lenders refuse to give me any loan. So already she bought loan, she is not repaid that, so even she is not get that money. Next one is the capital needed in farming. You have already seen that the modern farming methods require a great deal of capital, so that the farmer now needs more money than before. We already learned that the modern farming methods require a great deal of capital, that means more capital amount to buy HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and even for irrigation. Most small farmers have to borrow money to arrange for the capital. They borrow from large farmers or the village money lenders or the traders who supply various inputs for cultivation. So small farmers usually borrow the money for the capital. They borrow from large farmers, the village money lenders, or the traders. The rate of interest on such loans is very high. So interest rate is very high. They are put to great distress to repay the loan. To repay the loan amount, they want to face high level of distress. Here one case study is given. It's about the Savita. Savita is a small farmer. She plans to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. Besides seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides, she needs cash to buy water and repair her farm instruments. Okay, so Savita is a small farmer. She holds 1 hectare of land. She plans to cultivate wheat on that. So she has already that seeds, fertilizers and pesticides, even though she needs extra amount to buy water and repair her farm instruments. She estimates that the working capital itself would cost a minimum of 3,000 rupees. She does not have the money, so she decides to borrow from Tejpal Singh, a large farmer in that Palampur village. Tejpal Singh agrees to give Savita the loan at the interest rate of 24% for 4 months. So 4 months, 24% for 3,000 rupees, which is a very high interest rate. Savita also has to promise to work on his field as a farm laborer during the harvest season at rupees 100 per day. So she borrowed 3,000 rupees. So for that she wants to pay the high interest of rate amount, that is 24% for 4 months, and plus she also agreed to work in his field as a farm laborer during the harvest season, that also in very low wage rate, that is rupees 100 per day. We already seen that government decided 300 rupees per day for landless laborers. See here Tejpal Singh, how low rate he hired her. As you can tell, this wage is quite low, but no other way. Savita knows that she will have to work very hard to complete harvesting on her own field. She wants to do harvesting on her field and also to do Tejpal Singh, and then work as farm laborer for Tejpal Singh. The harvest time is very busy time. As a mother of 3 children, so she wants to take care of her children also, and she has a lot of household responsibilities. So household works, so she wants to do household works, taking care of her 3 children, plus she wants to do harvesting work in her own field, plus in the Tejpal Singh field. Savita agrees to these tough conditions as she knows getting a loan is difficult for a small farmer. In contrast to the small farmers, the medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming. So they need not to get any loan amount from outside. They are thus able to arrange for the capital needed. How do these farmers have their own savings? You shall find the answer in the next section. Here they given here. Okay, in that next section, how they are arranged, we will see through that some activity. Before that, next topic, sale of surplus farm products. Let us suppose that the farmers have produced wheat on their lands using 3 factors of production. What are the 3 factors of production? Land, labor and physical capital. The wheat is harvested and production is complete. What do the farmers do with the wheat? They retain a part of the wheat for the family's consumption and sell the surplus wheat. Small farmers like Savita and Gobind's sons have little surplus wheat because their total production is small, and from this is a substantial share is kept for their own family needs. So it is the medium and large farmers who supply wheat to the market. So small farmers like Savita and Gobind's son, the surplus, that means whatever they are cultivated, that is enough for their own consumption, family needs. But those who are have that surplus means they are medium and small large farmers. In the picture 1.1, that is the starting picture of this video, we seen that one bullock cart on that road in that Palampur village. You can see the bullock cart streaming into the market. Each carry loads of wheat. The traders at the market buy the wheat and sell it further to shopkeepers in the towns and cities. Tejpal Singh, the large farmer, has surplus of 350 quintals of wheat from all his hands. He sells the surplus wheat at the Raiganj market and has good earnings. What does Tejpal Singh do with these earnings? Last year, Tejpal Singh had put most of the money in his bank account. Later, he used the savings for lending to farmers like Savita who were in need of loan. So, the surplus amount he deposited in his bank account. Later, he used that amount for lending loans like Savita. He also used the savings to arrange for the working capital for farming in the next season. So, for next farming season, Tejpal Singh no need to get any loan amount. He has already a savings. This year, Tejpal Singh plans to use his earnings to buy another tractor. So, he already have one tractor. So, he wants to buy another tractor. Another tractor would increase his fixed capital. Like Tejpal Singh, other large and medium farmers sell the surplus farm products in the market. A part of the earnings is saved and kept for buying capital for the next season of cultivation. Thus, they are able to arrange for the capital for farming for their own savings. So, small farmers only lend the money from others, but medium and large farmers, they hold their savings for their next season cultivation. Some farmers might also use the savings to buy cattle, trucks, or to set up shops for the extra income. As we shall see, this constitute the capital for non-farming activities. Here one activity is given here to better understand about the situation of the different types of farmers. So let us take 3 farmers. Each has grown wheat on his field. Though the production is different here. So the consumption of the wheat by each farmer family is the same. So the consumption alone is same here. The whole of surplus wheat this year is used as capital for next year's production. Also suppose the production is twice the capital used in production. So complete the tables. We'll see first farmer 1. Production in first year 100. Consumption 40. Surplus means production from production. If we reduce or if we subtract the consumption, we'll get the surplus amount. The surplus amount we kept for the capital for the next year. So next year the capital turned as a twice used in production. So 120. So consumption is 40. Same. So surplus is 120 minus 40. That one is 80. So the 80 we kept for as a capital for next year. So that capital is turned into twice in production. So 80 plus 80 or 80 into 2, that one is 160. 160 minus 40, here 120 surplus amount. The surplus amount is kept as a capital for next year. So observe this table. So production is increased here and surplus also increased. So capital also increased. Next, farmer 2, production for the first year is 80. Consumption is same 40. So surplus is minus, that means subtract from production to consumption. So 80 minus 40 is 40 year surplus. So the capital for the next year is 40. Now the 40 turned into twice in the production. So 80. So 80 minus consumption 40. So surplus is 40. The 40 kept for the capital for the next year is 40. So once again for the year third, 40 production twice, so 80. 80 minus 40. So surplus is 40. The 40 is kept for the capital for the next year, that is 40. So observe this table. Production is same for all the 3 years and surplus also same and capital also same. Now farmer 3, production 60 for the first year and consumption is 40. So 60 minus 40, surplus is 20. So 20 we kept for the next year as capital. So 20 in twice in production, that is 40. So 40 minus 40 is 0. Surplus is 0. So no capital. So what is that production? So usually that farmer 3 buy loan amount from the large farmers or money lenders or from the traders. This is the current scenario of the different types of farmers. So in next video we'll see the non-farm activities in Palampur. Until then, thank you.